Hello everyone and welcome to this tutorial on the email extractor and search engine scraper by Creative Bear Tech. Now in this tutorial I'm going to be doing a walkthrough on how to use the email extractor and the search engine and going through all the technical aspects of that. I'm going to put this guide into different modules and sections so that you're able to follow it in a logical sequence and that it's easy to go through each step. Let's begin. The first step is to open the application itself. First, you'll need to open the compressed file. Now to do that, you can use WinRAR or WinZip or any program that's capable of extracting compressed files. You'll simply go to 1.1.0 and click Extract to Specified Folder, or however your program displays it, and then extract it to the folder of your choosing and hit OK. After you've extracted it, you'll see multiple files here. You'll want to click on scraping_forms here and click Run. It will show an app license with a name, company, and registration key. You can also see it's tied to the MAC address, and then you'll see the application open here. Now once you've opened the application, you'll want to run it, so you can do this by clicking More Settings and clicking on License. Once this comes up, you'll see name and company registration key and an ability to update your MAC address. Remember that each copy is tied to your computer's MAC address, so you'll want to search after your purchase for your registration key and your name and company. So now we're going to go ahead and put in the name and company here, and then go ahead and paste in the registration key and hit register. After we've done that, it will say the app is licensed. We can close here and then close out of the version, and now you'll be able to use the software. If you have an unregistered version, you won't be able to use the software. You can see here now that it says registered version. Once you have successfully registered the software, you need to create a project name. Now I advise putting it in line with what you're scraping. If you're scraping leads from Google, you could put Google, you could put a certain niche like pub, and for this demonstration purposes we'll put test, as this is a demonstration. Once you've created a suitable project name that's in line with what you're scraping, then you'll need to create a specified folder and path. You can do this by clicking on More Settings, and then once you open More Settings, clicking on the Save and Login Settings. You'll see a folder to select where your results should go. And it often is recommended to have it as the same name as the project, so you can be consistent. So I'm going to go here and get Test. So if my project name is Test, then I want my folder to be Test. Then you can go ahead and hit Save and Close. You can also hit More Settings again, save and login details to verify that it is set to the correct path and folder that you have selected. Now that you have successfully established a project name and you have a respective folder and path for it, you can now configure the proxy settings. We can do this by hitting More Settings and then by going over to Proxy Settings. Now, a couple of notes about proxies are that you want to test them line by line, and you want to test them in accordance with this: IP address, username, and then password. If a proxy isn't working, please remove it. And it's really important to use proxies so our IP address does not get banned. Also, some recommended proxies that you can use. You can go to stormproxies.com or HashCell for some recommended proxy providers. Now we want to paste proxies in one at a time in accordance with this format as previously mentioned: IP address, username, and password. And then we can hit test and see if proxies are working. It's testing it. Let's say please wait, and say finished, you're good to go. Then you can hit save and close. Another alternative to proxies is using a VPN such as HEMA or any other VPN softwares. The problem is this isn't recommended, as if you lose connection to the VPN, it'll interrupt your scraping. Also, with this VPN, you'll need to change IP addresses every time you want to reuse it. For those reasons, VPNs can be used, but are not recommended for this process. Now that we have our proxy set up, it's useful to set up a Captcha. This can be when the search engine's running for too long, the IP addresses you're using might get blacklisted, and we don't want to have that happen. So that can be solved by a Captcha. Now, if we're using specific delay settings, a Captcha may not be vital, but it's very, very helpful to avoid getting your IP address banned or to avoid just interruptions, especially if you're not using proxies, if you're using a VPN. So to do that, we click on More Settings and then we click on Captcha Settings. Here we can see we have a couple of options. We can use 2Captcha at 2Captcha.com or XEvil. Let's look into using 2Captcha. So let's go to 2Captcha.com and click on Register. We want to create a password, and we also want a strong password that we can use. We're going to click on Register, and now that we got that, we're going to click I'm a customer and get it started. Now what we need from here is an API key. So we're going to go here, highlight it, copy the API key, and we're going to go back over to our software, click on More Settings again, click on Captcha Settings, paste in the API key, and click Check Balance. Now that we've configured our Captcha settings, we should have a smooth scrape along with our proxies. Now, in order to make sure that we get the results we want in fashion we want, we're going to have to adjust the speed settings. So to do that, we click on More Settings and then go over to Speed Settings. Let's talk about what each of these options mean. The total number of search results just simply means how many results the software is going to scrape for you. If you're going Google, Bing, Yelp, you can get up to page 20, and you can generally get 200 results is going to be quite enough for your niche needs and for any needs that you're looking to pull. Next, we want to talk about the maximum number of emails we can get from the same website. As you know, some websites can have more than one email and different types of emails. And this is going to tell the software simply how many emails to get from that website. Do not show pictures, which we have toggled on, helps save time so that the software is not using its processing power to load pictures on the website, since they're not needed for scraping. We just want to get the emails. Finally, parse the search results using the web browser. Just means it's going to show what the scraper is doing at a single thread, and you can view live scraping, but you won't be able to use multi-threads or anything else to hide the browser. And this is cool to see if you want to see how the software works, but it's not typically used, and I don't typically use this option while scraping. Now that we've configured the speed settings for the software to pull the results we want, and we have the proxies and Captcha there to make sure it runs smoothly, we'll want to select the search engine we want to pull the emails from itself. So to do that, we click on More Settings and then we go to Search Engines and Dictionaries. Here we can see the available list of search engines, and you may be familiar with some such as Ask, Yahoo, Google, Bing, and Yelp. Now, we can select multiple search engines. To do that, we click the radio button to the left and toggle it on, and we can see Selected Search Source List. As we can see, Ask and Yahoo are here. Now, for specific search engines, we will search internationally, but for search engines such as Bing, Yahoo, Yelp, and other ones, if you see a plus sign next to it, that means you can drill down not only to international levels, but also to country. So you can search for specific leads in China, Chile, Italy, Japan with Bing. And if you're in the United States, you can go even further and select different cities. You can do this for the UK as well. If you don't do that, it'll search internationally, which is also a viable option. Now that we understand how to pull emails from different search engines, there are different configurations that go into each one. Specifically, Google Maps has a unique feature to it called footprints. Now, with Google Maps searching, if you would search like Chicago or London, for example, you wouldn't be able to pull all of the necessary emails or leads that are specific to that region because of local businesses. In order to fix this, there is a feature called footprints. Now to add a footprint on the main GUI, we click on Add Footprint, and then we can select something from a file. Now what a footprint is a zip code tied with a city. We can see different examples here. We have one zip code per line, and we can see that it's tied to its respective city. So what we want to do is upload the footprints specific to whatever city we want to search. For the United States, I'm going to upload all of the cities, states, which were actually in a text file line by line. So it's going to go through here and add the different footprints. That way when I search for something like video marketing or fitness or beauty salon or cryptocurrency, it'll align that keyword with all of the different respective zip codes in that area. That'll allow me not only to pull all the results I need, but it'll help when I'm searching different cities in the UK or different cities in the United States, as we want to make sure that we maximize the results we want to get. So it's going to take a little bit, and the text file will be uploaded into the software. Once the file is uploaded, we can see examples here of the different zip codes in the respective area, and we can hit OK and get out of here. And then we want to click on more settings, go to search engines and dictionaries. Now footprints are only respective to Google Maps, and that's the only time they should be used. We can select something like the United States, and because we have footprints here, it's going to help. I can select a city like Las Vegas and then enter my keyword such as video marketing, and then I can go ahead and add that to one of the respective sources on the left, which is the file we just uploaded, and click OK and begin my search to get the most maximum results possible using Google Maps. In addition to scraping emails from different search engines, we can also get them from websites. Now to do this, on the main GUI, we want to go to Scrape Emails from your website list and toggle on the radio button. In addition, we want to go to More Settings and click on Website List. Now let's talk about how to import your website lists. First, you'll want to click on the three dots here, and then you'll want to go to wherever your website list is selected. Now your website list should be saved in a text file, one website per line with no separators. Also, you can put 100 websites per file. You don't have to go and parse anything out. The program will actually do the splitting for you. The reason why you want to put websites in different files is so the software can run multiple threads, all processes, and it will get the websites through much faster. Now to import your websites, once you have one website per line in a text file with 100 websites per file, go ahead and click Open. And it'll take a second and it'll import your information into the software. Then you can go ahead, save and close, and then once you start the scraper, you'll also be able to scrape emails from the respective websites in your text folder. Now that we know how to scrape files from search engines and websites, we have our settings good to go, such as proxies and captures. Let's talk about narrowing down our search results. And let's talk specifically about how to apply domain filters. So to do that, we want to click on More Settings and then click on Domain Filters. Now let's talk about each column and what it represents. The first column is going to contain a list of the words that the URL the scraper is searching for must contain. So, for example, if you're looking at video marketing, you could type in video marketing, you could type in videos, you could type in YouTube. The key to this is really understanding your niche and understanding what keywords would be associated with it. Also, you want to make sure when you're entering keywords, as follows with the rest of the features in the software, that you do it one keyword per line with no separators. What we're doing here essentially is narrowing down the results. And by understanding your niche, you can understand the different keywords. It may be easier with some niches, as keywords may be more understandable and readily available. It also may be more challenging. Now, the second column, let's talk about that, are URLs it must not contain. And we can see some examples here: Amazon.co, user.php, spam, fraud.ace.arc, and this is helping so we don't get a lot of bad data. Third, in this column is a list of websites the software is going to skip from scraping. If it goes across these websites, it's going to skip for them, and this is so that you don't get a lot of spammy results. By doing this, by going through the domain list, you're able to narrow down the relevancy of your search results by using the correct keywords in the first column, narrowing it down in the URL to the keywords it must not contain in the second column. And you can also enter keywords and web extensions it should avoid here as well. And in the third list, making sure a list of sites that should not be scraped that are blacklisted. Also, some people think that they prefer to add all the sites in Majestic Million. Personally, I think it's just good enough to add the sites that will definitely not pass any value. Ultimately, with domain filters, it does come down to a personal judgment call of what you want to include in the first column and exclude in the second and third columns. Now that we have our domain filter selected, what we want to include and exclude, we'll want to have a way to even further narrow down our search results. Now, the issue with domain filters is that maybe not every website's going to have the keywords we selected, and we don't want to go over them. There's a lot of different brands, different companies, different aspects out there, different websites that may not have the keywords we want, especially if it's a specific niche or if it's unique. To fix that, we're going to go to more settings and then click on content filters. Content filters is the feature that makes this email extractor, this email scraper, one of the most powerful scraping tools on the market. The reason is that the content filter actually checks the website's meta title and meta description for different keywords you put in. If you're kind of into tech and you've seen HTML code, it takes a look at the body text and it'll scan the meta title, the meta description, each website, and see if the keyword is there. By checking the body of the text, by checking these hyper tags, this will give you a lot more results and it'll have a lot more power behind it. Like everything else, we want to enter our keywords. So if it's video marketing, we want to enter video marketing, video, YouTube, and keep expanding on our keywords. Also, we can see the settings here as the website must contain at least 2 keywords. We can even have it match the exact word and check the keywords in the website HTML or visible text. And by doing that, it's not overlooking a domain that may not have video or video marketing in it. It's actually looking in the body. It's looking at the HTML itself and seeing what's going on there. And by doing that, you can get even more and more results. By doing this is literally the most powerful scraping tool on the market, because it not only looks at domains, it looks at the content of the website and filters it out. Now that we have our settings ready for our scraper, we're almost there, but we need to take a look at some of the main features on the GUI itself on the front screen. The first is the project name, making sure that we have a relevant project according to our niche, such as video marketing, cryptocurrency, beauty salons, fitness. We also want to make sure we have keywords. This is what the scraper is going to search for, and we want to have one keyword per line. For doing video marketing, it could be video marketing, video, YouTube. We can expand the list. Next to that, we have crawl and scrape emails from search engines, which we discussed. We want to toggle that on, or make sure it's toggled on with a check mark. And then if we look in more settings, we can see the search engines we're scraping from. In addition, we can scrape emails from the website list, make sure that's toggled on if we want to do that with a check mark. And we can go to more settings and make sure that we have our website list uploaded with websites, one per line, and 100 websites per text file. And then we can hit save and close on that. Now there's some other features we can take a look at, such as invisible mode or visible mode. Visible mode is going to allow you to see what the software is kind of doing, how it's going through the scraping process, going through different browser windows. If you don't need to see that, you just want to get your leads, then I recommend putting in visible mode. You can try running it in both and see if it's helpful to see it in visible mode, or if you just want it to pull results, you just click invisible mode and you won't see an additional browser window where the scraper is working. You can also run the software in fast mode. Now be careful here. You want to make sure that you have a fast internet connection, as if you don't have a fast internet connection or a strong PC, this might not be the best option for you. You can also configure the amount of subscrapers in this button here. By toggling the button, you can take it from 1 to 12. Now, what subscrapers basically do is tell the software how many threads you want to scrape. So, for example, if you select 3 subscrapers, and if you do 2 threads per scraper, if you're searching Google Maps or Google or Bing, then what that essentially means is that you're taking a look at 2 keywords per website and simultaneously looking at Google or Bing or Google Maps or whatever you selected for those 2 keywords at one time. And since the scraper does take a lot of computer power, it's a good idea to keep the threads relatively low. You don't want to raise it unless maybe you have a gaming laptop, or you have a virtual private server, or you're running it on a dedicated server. Finally, we can see that there's a delay between requests in milliseconds. I recommend keeping it around 3000, and what that does is help show while it's scraping that it's actually a human field, that it's not going super fast, that the scraping activity looks human. You can also, last but not least, toggle this button to delete results without emails. So if you get results and they don't have an email, if you just want it for your list or for your autoresponder, then you don't get any unnecessary results when you export it to Excel. Now that we have an understanding of the different settings we can enable on the software, let's go ahead and actually run the software and see how we can scrape some emails. We're going to start in invisible mode, where we're not going to be seeing the software running. Now we're starting to see a result come in. We can see the URL, the email, telephone address, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And now a few more results are coming in. Now that we have a few results, I'm going to hit stop here. Now we can see that the searching has been stopped. We're going to untoggle invisible mode and then start it again. Now we can actually see the application running, opening different browser windows, and we can see what the Creative Bear text scraper tool is actually doing to acquire this information, as in going to different websites where it's searching and where it's pulling from. These 2 modes, while they get the same results, they have a different visual aspect that you can take a look at and see what you want to do when you're running it. Now that we've run the scraper in both invisible and visible mode to see how it works, and we've achieved some results, we have the option to clean the emails up before we export them to Excel so we can use them for different purposes, for list building, for expanding our business, whatever we need for our niche. So to do that, we click on Email List Cleaner, and then there's going to be a few options here. Let's talk about each one. The first one, emails must match the domain. This filter is going to help get all the generic and non-generic emails. There might be such things as Gmail, Yahoo, Yandex, Proton, AOL, Virgin Media, etc. And a lot of these are on different websites, they're on social media, sometimes owners or other people put them up, and this can really help get that out for GDPR purposes if you're dealing with the European Union. Next, only save one email per domain. There might be multiple emails on different websites. Some people have different emails for their marketing, some have it for different businesses, or they're involved with two different things, so they have multiple emails. This option is going to help you just save one email so you're not contacting the same person or the same company multiple times, so you're not spamming them, and this will really help with your spam reduction and not annoying people in general. Then we have remove the duplicated emails, and this works by default. The scraper is going to remove all duplicated emails, and this is just precautionary. Now, let's talk about the different fields we have here. Enter a list of keywords that part of the email must contain, either in the username or the domain name. And this is going to be a list of keywords that you want to see in the email. If you take example, video marketing or cryptocurrency, you'd like to see something like video marketing, video, YouTube, maybe Bitcoin, maybe crypto, maybe finance. And if this was the case with the domain, then not emails are going to contain the keywords. Enter a list of keywords that the email username must contain. And the goal of this is to increase the relevancy of the different emails you get and also reduce spamming individuals at the same time. So you may want to contact all emails that start with hello, info, contact, community, whatever it may be. Then finally we have enter a list of keywords, symbols, or characters that the email must not contain. And this is a filter to get out emails such as honey traps, spam emails, anything that might be problematic. And it's obvious if an email may not be working if some of the characters inside contain exclamation points, percentage, dollar signs, stars, brackets, plus or equal signs. And then after we've set all the filters we want, we just simply click apply filters here, or we can click reset if we want to change something. Then based on that, we can either export the email or the data. Now that we've scraped our results, maybe we've cleaned them up with an email filter or multiple filters, we can either export the data with all of the information or export the emails. The difference is exporting data will export everything, including the email, telephone, social media, and the URL. Export emails will export just the emails. Both of them will be saved in a CSV file, and it will have one email per row. Also, one thing to note here and to understand is you can always import your original scrape data and just clean it up using the filters, but the filters are not automatically applied. As we can see here, we scraped the data, then we opened up the email list cleaner and then looked at the different filters. So if you want to change something at a later stage, or you scrape something, you want to change some of the data, it is advisable to make sure that the different filtered emails that you used have a slightly different name than the main file that you exported. Now that we know the difference between exporting data and emails, let's see how we can do both of them so we can get our data in a CSV folder and use it for our business purposes. In the email list cleaner, we can either export data and put it somewhere on our computer, or we can get out of the email list cleaner and simply click export on the main GUI. You'll see that it has been saved with the project name Video Marketing 6/9/2019.csv. Now we can get that by typing in .csv, or we can see what path it's going to be in. Now if you click on more settings, you'll remember at the beginning we did save and login settings, so we can see where it be at. Here it's a folder named test, so we can open our folder with the actual data here in test. We can take a look at the different project names. Here is Video Marketing, and we can see it for 6/9 and go ahead and open it up in Excel. And we can see our results here for Video Marketing, and that's one way to get it. Now let's say we just want emails. How can we do that? We can go to the email list cleaner and we can click export emails, and we can hit OK on the desktop, and we can see that it's been exported to Video Marketing emails.csv, and we can literally pull up Video Marketing emails and see columns with just the emails, one email per line. So it's easy to use, and we can use this for something like our autoresponder or to build leads. This program has a great feature. If for whatever reason you were scraping and you had to stop your search, or if the program accidentally crashed, then you can actually continue your previous search. You do that by going down here where you can see the previous search button and toggle it on with a check mark, and then hit start again. This will enable you, even if the program crashes or something gets stopped, to resume getting the leads that you need for your business and keep scraping emails. One quick final note: sometimes when the search engine scraper is working, if it can't find details directly on the website or the search engine, it'll take a look at the social media networks. It'll look at LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The issue is Facebook and LinkedIn tend to try and block or disallow the scraper from looking at company pages. That's okay, because by putting in our Facebook and LinkedIn information, we can get past that and get that important information. To do that, click on More Settings, Save and Login Details, enter our Facebook username and password, and click Update, and our LinkedIn username and password, and click Update, and then hit Save and Close.